Midweek fixture such as this, it is a high-stakes encounter as we get underway. These sides meeting for the 9th time in the top flight, and many would reckon this is by far the most consequential of their previous meetings, although they did cross paths on the penultimate day round of fixtures in the previous campaign, which was a 1-1 draw, which didn't help either particularly much. Chiefs in their pursuit of the top 8, and Sekhukhune United as they sought to capture a spot in the Confederation Cup. But that's in the rearview mirror now as we prepare to enjoy what should be an electric encounter. Let me introduce William Shongwe at this point. Delighted to be alongside you, William. What do you make of the positive start from Chiefs, and whether they might have a little more pressure than usual because they're finally meeting expectations and need to continue it?
That unfortunately is the situation. Yes, it's good. I'm sure they would rather have this kind of pressure than fighting from the rear guard. And the challenge, of course, is can the coach help them to be able to sustain this, because it's important for Kaizer Chiefs in the way that they've started and continue so.
Pulemori with a lovely little turn, getting the better of Matsimbi, but they've re-established control of the ball here. Sekhukhune United, Tostin Tabata, first touch for him since rejoining Sekhukhune United, who he initially came to in 2021 when they were just starting out in the top flight. Spent 2 years at the club before rejoining Zesco United.
Playing his first games, I'm not sure just exactly how the feeling is like to be introduced back in a game of this magnitude. So but I know he started beautifully when he first came to South Africa for Sekhukhune. And things didn't go as they started, by the way, which maybe was one of the reasons why he didn't go and re-establish himself at home. But back, being the #1 at national level, and here he is today.
Brilliantly worked out to Mori on the left-hand side, rolls it into the path here of Paseka Marco, and Tostin Tabata makes the claim in the air. He's fresh off international duty. Zambia didn't play 2 World Cup qualifiers because they were scheduled to play Eritrea this time around, who withdrew, but did lose 2-0 in Ndola against Morocco, who have qualified for the 2026 World Cup. Tabata in between the sticks for that match against the Atlas Lions. Zambia with barely any hope of making it as one of the 4 best runners-up, although mathematically they still could. But they will be present at the Africa Cup of Nations, so Tostin Tabata will be looking to put in some strong performances for Sekhukhune United in the next couple of months, so that he can retain his #1 position as they head to Morocco in December, where they actually will be in the same group as the hosts. This was in Mube. There's the man down.
Straight hand from Teto initially. They were more like arms led, but that hand, like a full slap into the face of Nuba, which was not intentional at all.
That's a brilliant little flick header, and there's plenty of space here for Matsimbi, who rolls it across for Bradley Grobler. Who else? He's the first to breach the Kaizer Chiefs defense this season. A man who's made a habit of scoring against Amakosi over the years has done it again.
I could tell you straight away it's a mistake between McCarthy and the fullback, or that is Paseka. They both went for the same goal. We'll see it. And once they failed to win the ball, and then it all opened up on the left-hand side. Now look at this, they're both challenging for the same ball, and unfortunately they don't win it. And then from there, it's a straight run across with Grobler, who anticipated better than the rest of the defense. Was at hand to slide through. Brilliantly done. This is what they call transition play of the highest kind by Sekhukhune. But like I said, it started from just a poor decision from the two defenders. Had Marco stayed, I'm sure he would have kept up with Matsimbi.
Yeah, Paseka Marco sucked in, and Matsimbi all on his own to play that brilliantly across from Grobler as Kaizer Chiefs look for an instant retort here. With Flavio Silva has laid it off for Lilepo. Modi's in the box. And it's away by Midupi Tokolo, who's made a fabulous start to life in the top flight, sporting a new hairstyle today as well as Tokolo. Well, Bradley Grobler netted his 100th top flight goal against Durban City just before the international break. He's behind only Nomvete in that particular regard, and he also moves to 122 overall in all games played since being in the South African top flight, having seen Peter Shalulile just recently overhaul Nomvete's overall record and move to 130 goals. So Grobler also closing in on that 129 mark, which for a very long time stood as the milestone in South African football. There's Brandon Peterson. He was on the verge of some history today, but not to be for him. If you go back to last season, Chiefs kept a clean sheet in their last 6 games for the first time since the 2016-17 season, and another clean sheet tonight would have seen them keep 7 successive for the first time since 2003-2004, when Brian Baloy and Ron Fernandez shared the goalkeeping obligations. But Bradley Grobler has ensured that there will be no such record.
I'm just trying to imagine that what are the chances for Kaizer? I know it's only the 7th minute of the game. What are the chances for Kaizer to bounce back? Because both teams have been very stingy in as far as allowing other teams to score them. I mean, if you look at Sekhukhune, they've only considered 1. So is Kaizer Chiefs, but now it's 2 against Kaizer Chiefs, and they're not allowing too many chances to the opposition to be able to score them. But Sekhukhune has done that, yeah, and that basically puts pressure. Can Chiefs sustain the good record that they bring into this game?
And it's another early goal. It's the 3rd time in 9 meetings that Sekhukhune United have scored within 5 minutes of the start, as a call goes against them here. They did so in the 2022-23 season. Sami Siabi, after 4 minutes in a game that Sekhukhune went on to win 1-0. And then in their most recent meeting, that was midway through May, Ellis Ramalho, who's on the park today, scored within 4 minutes. Kaizer Chiefs went on to equalize in first half injury time, courtesy of Lilepo.
We've seen great progress from Kaizer Chiefs using Modi on the wide left, Lilepo on the wide right. And now, I can promise you, that space, we're not going to see much of those openings, because I think you can see that Sekhukhune are sitting back a bit. They're not allowing too much space behind the defensive line. So Chiefs, one or the other, they'll have to try and suck them out of that defensive role so that they can create the space behind.
Tetwa to Modi. Back to Spoxenim Tetwa. Ndlovu links up with Sereno. He's rolled into the path of Lilepo here. And excellent defending from Vuyo Letlapa. Ignacio Miguel struggling to deal with the pace on display. Machalwa tries to jink his way past Oxentetwa. And again, it was some fairly unconvincing defending a moment ago, Miguel on Mube.
I think there was confusion between the two. Miguel was hoping that the goalkeeper was going to come out, but because it looked a long pass, and yet Peterson on the other side thought it was too short for him to come out, and that's when Mkwala got the opportunity to be able to stray forward.
Here's Lilepo taking on Letlap. Manages to dig out a cross. Zabata gets his hands on it at the near post. Lepo does have a goal this season, came in their opener against Stellenbosch. Injury time penalty. There's Ndlovu, the match winner in their match day 2 encounter with Polokwane City. Serena. Frosler. Reece Frosler playing for just the second time this season. He was a late sub against Polokwane City. And those are the only minutes that he's earned until this evening. Now McCarthy.
Beautifully done by Sekhukhune, closing all the passing passages, the pockets of spaces where the ball could be squeezed through. Defensively brilliant at the time.
Lilepo driving to the byline, puts the ball across, and it has been scrambled in. Well, it's made a dream start to life at Kaizer Chiefs. Flavio Silva is on the score sheet again.
That is a great sign of a sniper. In the way that he always finds himself in the box. The first goal that he scored for Kaizer Chiefs when he came in as a substitute, he scored it from being able to profit from. He makes a good run into the box. That's what he does. That's what a great striker does. Sabata initially does well to make the block, but he doesn't completely clean up, which is when Miguel gets the opportunity on the second bite. Good speed once again from Lilepo, as he always does, coming from the wide left or right hand side of the attack. That is top quality, great anticipation.
Well, the man who was playing his football before being recruited by Kaizer Chiefs in Indonesia, of all places, has taken to South Africa's top flight like a duck to water, and he has played approximately 45 minutes now for Kaizer Chiefs and has already been on the score sheet twice.
So my question is answered. I was wondering, what are the chances that Kaizer Chiefs can bounce back from this situation where they were being led, and because these two teams are not high scoring. Yes, Sekhukhune has scored 8, which makes it 9 today, and Kaizer Chiefs 5 only. That's been short in as far as the presence in front of goal. But clearly, Miguel has decided, I'm going to change this. In my first start for Kaizer Chiefs, I'll make the impact. Missing, of course, in defense is Chihuahua from the DRC. Ndlovu plays in that position because it's permit issues that does not allow him to bounce back into the starting lineup. Did you see any contact?
Yeah, it appeared to be maybe the knee of Da Silva,
because I thought maybe he stepped onto his arm.
Manuel Sapunga, former Polokwane City man who was recruited in the off-season, played in the last game after Ronaldo Lina had started the opening for league matches, but kept a clean sheet last time out against Durban City. Coming over to check on the Babinanuku goalminder, who looks like he's receiving stitches at the moment.
Now, an opportunity for us to see exactly whether there was contact and how much of it. There, yep. Yes, definitely the knee of Silva into the face, but you don't see it then because Zabata gets up immediately trying to scramble to get ball position back into his hands.
Eric Tinkler is the reigning coach of the month in the Betway Premiership, coach of the month for August, having also won it back in April towards the latter stages of last season. There's only ever been 2 draws in the 8 matches between these two sides, but one of them did come in the most recent meeting, penultimate round of fixtures for last season. This is what the log looked like before kickoff, was Sekhukhune United in 2nd, and Kaizer Chiefs in 3rd, and Mamelodi Sundowns having gotten themselves into 1st place over the weekend against Magesi FC.
Difference now is just the points. Of course, Sekhukhune and Chiefs were on 13. Obviously, with the scoreline right now, they've earned 1 point, which equals to that of Mamelodi Sundowns. It's a photo finish already. I'm trying to imagine going forward, what is it going to be like?
Well, neither side would have had ambitions of sharing the spoils this evening. Both will want the full complement of points. Both will be targeting top spots. And Kaizer Chiefs could see themselves slip a little bit down the table because they do have CAF Confederation Cup obligations coming up, preliminary round against Kabusko of Angola. That would be on the 20th of this month, so coming up this weekend. They'll be away in Talatona, it's near Luanda, at the 11th of November stadium, and then they host Kabusko on the 27th of September, whilst league fixtures will be ongoing. And Coach Nabi actually was away from the club this weekend to watch their upcoming opponents in the Super Cup against Petro de Luanda, a match that they lost 2-0, so he's done a little bit of scouting.
Let's talk about that eye injury. Maybe it's not directly to the eye, but it's just above, by the eyelashes. What might happen eventually is he'll be swollen, and sometimes if the swelling is not properly controlled, it might end up closing the eye, which might affect his sight. So those are some of the challenges that we still have to see, just how does Sabata handles that. Team E formerly with Black Leopards. The right full back sometimes can play as a wing back.
He's tossed it in for Bradley Groble here, but away by Mtetwa. Back into the box by Kaizer. Neat control from Tokolo. He's actually played the most minutes of any Sekhukhune United player this season. He's been virtually ever present, and he's one of 5 players who have now started all 6 games this season. Simbi wins that in the air. Kaizer. just about kept alive on the flank by Matsimbi, but possession back with Kaizer Chiefs. This is Ada McCarthy. Some wonderful performances for Amakosi, and a couple of man of the match displays as well before suffering that hamstring injury that has kept him out. Did miss the games against Sundowns and Arrows. Ramala.
Yeah, very impressive introduction for me after the injury of McCarthy was that of Penica, who came into that centre-back pairing alongside Miguel. Brilliant, was brilliant in the 2 games that they played.
Even trusted with the captain's armband, which is returned to Inacio Miguel for today. Ivan Sabata. Paseka Marco's headers not particularly convincing, and Sekhukhune United have it back and now get the free kick after the foul by Pule Mori.
Guess more than the shoulder charge, but it's the hand and the elbow that borders around impeding this Sekhukhune player from Mori.
Tokolo. As Brighton Glover was on loan at Kruger United last season from Sekhukhune. Now Kaizer can't locate Munare, who has some defensive work to do, trying to track Pule Mori.
Well anticipated by Kaizer.
Munare back to Ndlovu. But Munare celebrating his 36th birthday today. Incredible longevity at the top level of the game.
The grind between those two, talking Munare and Kaizer, for me gives a good balance between defending and attacking, because given the opportunity Kaizer does straight forward in assisting the front or attacking players. So, but Munare, I guess maybe with that number of years that you've mentioned, it just helps him to be a bit more settled in that middle.
Thumped away by Tabata. There's Reef Frosler. Hook to Miguel. Finds Ndlovu. Too much pace on that pass for De Silva. Matsim. And Ndlovu. Tokolo. Fairly aimless hoof upfields from Tabata all the way through here to Peterson. So 5 clean sheets to start a league campaign did actually equal a record, a club record for Kaizer Chiefs. Just the 2nd time they've managed it. First time in the PSL era. The last time that they kept a clean sheet in their opening 5 games of the season was 1979, with the great Bent Sitlori in goal for them. I'm sure you'll...
Where were you? Baba's Day.
I hadn't even been thought of yet.
Joseph Ben Seklodi.
A hero of yours.
Oh, man. Still alive and kicking.
Yeah. So they won't be able to extend that record, that clean sheet record tonight, but it's still worth pointing out that it's quite an achievement as Makhalwa looks for his 5th assist of the season. It's the overlapping Letlapa going to oblige with the finish. Eric Tinkler, first time facing Kaizer Chiefs, actually ended in defeat. That was as Orlando Pirates caretaker over a decade ago, back in 2014, lost 2-0. But since then has lost just one of the subsequent 18 league meetings with Chiefs that he's overseen at various clubs. Modi and Ndlovu. Level with a little give and go. That's Reef Frosler showing too much of that to Letlapa. McCarthy. Mid pass for Modi. Free kick, Kaizer Chiefs.
Matsindi makes a claim. Yeah, that elbow again from Modi. Though he didn't actually push it backwards as such, but he just kept it there, helping him to keep up the distance between him and Matsindi. Yeah, he hasn't quite contributed much into the attack. Serino, that space, the way he's playing as the number 10 is a little bit congested. He hasn't found the space to come up with the combination play.
Serino puts the ball in, but the flag raised. A couple of Chiefs players straying offside.
Yeah, there's the real shots. McCarthy, yes, it is.
Well, none of the players who were initially offside when the ball was delivered in actually were involved in trying to get onto the end of it, but offside nonetheless.
Chiefs a little bit more on the build-up, a little bit slower and getting the ball into the attacking phase of the game. Unlike Sekhukhune, a little bit quicker, more transition than building up.
Kept in for Lilepo. Tetra. This is Serino. Tabata claims.
Too close to the keeper.
Ndlovu putting Peterson under a little bit of pressure. He's dealt with that competently. Kaizer winning it over Tetra. Ramala back to Tokolo. Letlapa. Sekhukhune United, after 5 games, a 13-point haul is their best ever, after 5 games, their best ever start. Kaizer Chiefs could become, if they win today, the first side since Richards Bay in March to concede first against Sekhukhune United and go on to win. Sekhukhune in their past 10 matches when scoring first in the league have not suffered defeats. But Chiefs this evening very quick to restore parity. Good pace shown by Brighton Global on the cover, but the flag up in any case.
Well, talking about Ndlovu, when he played for Kruger United, he played as a striker, but sometimes he played as a defender. So he covers both ends. In fact, 12 goals I think he scored as a striker for Kruger United last season. So even talking to the coach, they say every now and then, you know, they think about it, they throw him. But I'm sure with the return of the other defenders who are still not reached due to work permits, he might just see himself being able to double up as an attacker.
Team able to hang on to it for any sustained period. And now Ndlovu excellently locates Lilepo. He's found Frosler. Ray Frosler has a go! And Tostan Zabata makes that initial save and then denies Serino on the follow-up. Now down the other end, Inacio Miguel is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's hauled back Mube. We did have some issues with him earlier, his pace earlier. And unsurprisingly, he has been shown a yellow card.
Mube is very quick. Not just quick, but very skillful. It's a good one from Frozer here. He was thinking, looking for options, but he saw he was welcome. I mean, they kept just retreating and opened up in front of him, and rightfully so. He took a strike, but only straight to the keeper.
Peterson has assembled a three-man wall here. That's a tricky free kick to try and deal with as the defensive team. Machalmak puts it in. Monade gets his head on it. Loops up into the gloves of Peterson. He's looking for the quick release. It's a gigantic throw from Peterson, but well cut out by Litlapa. Brandon Peterson, a clean sheet in their final game of last season, and the 5 to begin this campaign. Now ball across. Tabata claims it was the longest clean sheet run of Peterson's career to an end this evening.
Excellent work by Tabata. That cross, remember, it's a night game, so it's a little bit slippery on the grass. And to deal with that ball dropping in front of him like that and having to come out and adjust his body, sometimes it's going to be very difficult for a goalkeeper. Because there was a player lacking on the far side. Mori, I think it was.
Promising again for Sekhukhune. Digs out across it. Ramala He's not able to control. This is Matsimbi. Bit of an awkward ball for Magalwa. Ramala. Frossa. Tetra. Now McCarthy gets it back from Da Silva. Up to Mori. Da Silva to McCarthy again. Frosler, the brilliant ball for Gaston Serino. His cross in took a little bit of a deflection, which made it awkward for Tabata.
Sometimes when you anticipate too much as a goalkeeper, you're caught in situations like this, because if it deflects, then you're off position. But Tabata, it's just luckily that the deflection wasn't as weakened as Serino developed.
Da Silva squeezing it through here for Pule Mori. The flag's gone out. Now this one
must be very tight. Yes, indeed. I thought he's a two-off. He was pretty much in line with it, but clever thinking by Silva here. Might have been a hurt.
Serino had come back from an offside position to challenge Tokola for that one.
Now, I'm going to give you a quiz here. Which artist would you say Serino looks like? From the olden days.
Are you talking about a musical artist?
Yes.
Gosh.
Freddie Mercury.
You might be the only person who thinks that. I've seen him smile, and it's not the same look as Freddie Mercury.
Listen, let's get a few comments from out here and see what people think.
Oh, that is delightful from Mori. Turned in field here. Fully Lepo can shoot from range and does, and this time gets it all wrong.
Remember a similar shot that he took in this very venue that night game, Kaizer from the Little Sundowns, that nearly got Ronald Williams napping, but he was alert to the danger and made a brilliant save from that. This time, nowhere near that quality.
Well, the fabulous goal he scored at the other side, the south side of the stadium against Gallants last season springs to mind as well. That one did nestle in the back of the net. There's Frosler. This pass overcooked. Krobler with the flick. Ramala. Unare.
I must add that Marco struggled clearing with the head from all the balls played diagonally coming from this side. Here's another.
Yeah, it's another instance. Matsimbi. Ramala dispossessed, but Matsimbi on hand to regain control. Here's Makhalwa. Kaleto Makhalwa, who has created more chances this season than everyone besides Nel Rapo coming into his match day 6 encounter. Since the start of last season, has 15 assists in the league, 19 goal contributions. He's joining Sekhukhune United, that's in the Betway Premiership. Created by far the most chances of the previous campaign in the Betway Prem. Now, Fusmusi Mube has delivered a slightly disappointing ball, but he says it's a mitigating factor, and they said he was interfered with.
This is what it looked like, eh? You might not see it from this end. Slightest of contact can put you off when you're about to execute.
Silva, illegally dispossessed, dual nationality, Portugal, Guinea-Bissau.
I like the way he drifts off, just to obviously get away from the defenders, and because she's a team that likes to thread the ball through instead of a long pass to get behind the defensive line.
Sekhukhune United come here this evening with a 100% away record. In fact, Chiefs the only other team in the division who have a 100% away record. 2 wins from 2 on the road in the Betway Premiership this season, as we look at why Kaizer was penalised. They've never won their opening 3 away games, Sekhukhune United. Although 2 seasons back they did go unbeaten in their first 4 on the road, 3 wins and a draw. Frosler leaves it for Serino. Sekhukhune clear their lines. Larry Tinkler lost against Kaizer Chiefs in March of 2019 when he was with Maritzburg United. Kaizer Chiefs under Ernst Middendorf at the time. Unbeaten in 9 league games since then. That's the last time he suffered a league loss. It was all the way back in 2019. He's won 5 and drawn 4 since. Actually, just before the COVID lockdown, took Maritzburg to a victory over Kaizer Chiefs that reduced what was at the time a very intimidating gap at the top before the lockdown came. Now Robla, he's put it through brilliantly, and Inacio Miguel making the challenge, judged to have been clean. He's really got a battle on his hands with Mube this evening.
He does this one beautifully so, without even causing a foul, which was my fear. I mean, he was on the wrong side for a defender to steal that ball back.
Let's not forget, he's also on a yellow card in Inacio Miguel. It's the only player that's been booked so far. There have been red cards in the last 2 meetings between these 2 teams, by the way. Pulemori sent off in injury time. The last time that they crossed paths in May, and then in January, Vuyo Letlapa was red carded for a foul on Fundo Vilakazi. The young player was on the bench today. And the Vilakazi went on to score moments later and win the game for Kaizer Chiefs.
Listen, Krobler has been a handful for the defenders. I mentioned that he's created some problems for Marco, but even for Miguel. Anything that hangs high up in the air, Krobler gets to it first. He's been providing the flicks.
Mori. Pule Mori, his ball all the way through to Gaston Serino. The flag is raised.
Very nice to see exactly what would have been the cause for that flag to go up.
Well, this is the only game this evening where both sides have so far managed to score. Durban City are up against Sibilele at the Chatsworth Stadium. They are 1-0 in front, courtesy of Letsia Kwapeng. He's just got himself onto the score sheet. And Chippa United hosting Auburn College at the Buffalo City Stadium. Are leading by 1-0, courtesy of Malani Sitole.
I think that call for the foul, for those that were able to pick it up, I think Serino did touch it with his hand. Sharp refereeing there to pick it up.
So 2 of the half-dozen additional minutes have elapsed here at the FNB Stadium. Both these sides would love to take an advantage into the break. There's still time to find another goal before the interval. Ndlovu. Lovely disguised pass initially, and Paseka Marco tried to emulate him in his efforts to locate Pulemori. Krobler, another successful aerial duel won.
All they can do, because seemingly none of the defenders can match him, but if one gets to maybe challenge him, one must stay clear so that he can pick up the second ball. That's the only way you can deal with a defender, with a striker like that.
Was on the move. Does he have the pace to keep it in? He does, but unfortunately he's come a cropper on a rough patch just outside of the pitch.
So many passes are given away in that middle of the park by the Kaizer Chiefs build-up play. I guess maybe you can say that Sekhukhune are closing them very well. Because I think that if you were to look at the success rate of those passes being traded through, Sekhukhune will have a higher number of percentage in the way that they've been able to block them.
That was the 6th pass that Spongiseni Mthethwa has misplaced in this first half. Kept in by Matsimbi, away by Marco. Ndlovu with a neat turn, and then he too has given it away. Here's Munare. Just gets a toe on that to find Elis Ramala. The Clappers joined the attack. Reef Frostlers dealt with the danger, although at the expense of a corner. interesting strategy for Sekhukhune United from the set piece. Oh, it's almost come off for them. Every player in the box was congregated at the back post. They all came bursting forward when Makhawa delivered it in.
Is that Lobu? He's always familiar with hitting ball in those type of fashion when he's playing as a striker. Very unlucky because he got to the ball above all the Chiefs defenders. All he failed to do was directly towards goal. That was definitely a great opportunity to get a one ahead at this juncture of the game.
So that's it for the first half. It's lived up to its billing. Both sides have managed to score, but Kaizer Chiefs for the first time this season have seen their defense breached, and their run of shutting out opposition, which stretches back to last season and had gone on for almost 10.5 hours, put to an end within 5 minutes by Bradley Grobler, who scored for his 11th goal in all competitions against Kaizer Chiefs. Some thinking to do for coach Nasruddin Nabi, and as he trails Eric Tinkler back up the tunnel here. But we are anticipating a brilliant second 45. It is evenly poised here at the Calabash. The sides, number 2 and number 3 in the division, looking to go top, are deadlocked.
Intentional at all.
That's a brilliant little flick header, and there's plenty of space here for Matsimbi, who rolls it across for Bradley Grobler. Who else? He's the first to breach the Kaizer Chiefs defense this season. A man who's made a habit of scoring against Amakosi over the years has done it again.
I could tell you straight away, it's a mistake between McCarthy and the fullback, or that is Paseka. They both went for the same goal. You'll see it. And once they failed to win the ball, and then it all opened up on the left-hand side. Now look at this. They're both challenging for the same ball, and unfortunately they don't win it. And then from there, it's a straight run across with Grobler, who anticipated better than the rest of the defense, was ahead to slide through. Brilliantly done. This is what they call transition play of the highest kind by Sekhukhune. But like I said, it started from just a poor decision from the two defenders. At Marco State, I'm sure he will have kept up. Intentional at all.
That's a brilliant little flick header, and there's plenty of space here for Matsimbi, who rolls it across for Bradley Grobler. Who else?
Intentional at all.
That's a brilliant little flick header, and there's plenty of space here for Matsimbi, who rolls it across for Bradley Grobler. Who else? He's the first to breach the Kaizer Chiefs defense this season. A man who's made a habit of scoring against Damakosi over the years. That's a brilliant little flick header, and there's plenty of space here for Matsimbi, who rolls it across for Bradley Grobler. Who else? He's the first to breach the Kaizer Chiefs defense this season. A man who's made a habit.
Not at all.
That's a brilliant little flick header, and there's plenty of space here for Matsimbi, who rolls it across for Bradley Grobler.
Passages, the pockets of spaces where the ball could be squeezed through. Defensively brilliant at the time.
Lilepo driving to the bar line, puts the ball across, and it has been scrambled in. Well, it's made a dream start to life at Kaizer Chiefs. Flavio Silva is on the score sheet again.
That is a great sign of a sniper. In the way that he always finds himself in the box. The first goal that he scored for Kaizer Chiefs when he came in as a substitute, he scored it from being able to profit from. He makes a good run into the box. That's what he does. That's what a great striker does. Sabata initially does well to make the block, but he doesn't completely clean up, which is when Miguel gets the opportunity on the second bite. Good speed once again from Lilepo, as he always does, coming from the wide left or right hand side of the attack. That is top quality, great anticipation.
Well, the man who was playing his football before being recruited by Kaizer Chiefs in Indonesia, of all places, has taken to South Africa's flight like top flight.
Passages, the pockets of spaces where the ball could be squeezed through. Defensively brilliant at the time.
Lilepo driving to the bar line, puts the ball across, and it has been scrambled in. Well,
passages, the pockets of spaces where the ball could be squeezed through. Defensively brilliant at the time.
Lilepo driving to the bar line, puts the ball across, and it has been scrambled in. Well, it's made a dream start to life at Kaizer Chiefs.
Passages, the pockets of spaces where the ball could be squeezed through. Defensively brilliant at the time.
Lilepo driving to the bar line, puts the ball across, and it has been scrambled in. Well, it's made a dream start to life at Kaizer Chiefs. Flavio excellently locates Lilepo. He's found Frosler. Marie Frosler has a go, and Tostan Zabata makes that. Excellently locates Lilepo. He's found Frosler. Marie Frosler has a go, and Tostan Zabata makes that. And now Ndlovu excellently locates Lilepo. He's found Frosler. Marie Frosler has a go, and Tostan Zabata. Marie Frosler has a go, and Tostan Zabata makes that initial save and then denied. Interesting strategy for Sekhukhune United from the set piece. Oh, it's almost come off for them. Every player in the box was interesting strategy for Sekhukhune United from the set piece. Oh, it's almost come off for them. Every player in the box was interesting strategy for Sekhukhune United from the set piece. Oh, it's almost come off for them. Interesting strategy for Sekhukhune United from the set piece. Oh, it's almost come off for them. Every player in the midweek here at Soccer City between Kaizer Chiefs and Sekhukhune United. The score was as it is now after just a quarter hour had been played. Bradley Grobler opening the scoring, and Flavio Silva with his second for Kaizer Chiefs and just his second appearance for the club to equalize. A win for either of these two sides would take them top of the table. It's a position that Sekhukhune have already occupied. Kaizer Chiefs, though, have always been behind whoever has been the table topper since the start of the season on goal difference. Not since the end of the 2019-20 campaign. Just over 5 years ago have they been at the summit of South Africa's top flight. That could all change tonight if they can get the victory. They have, however, seen their clean sheet record to start the season broken by Bradley Grobler. They began this campaign with 5 successive shutouts. But Bradley Grobler with a brilliant sliding finish, a man who barely trained this week, suffering with a little bit of illness, Grobler, but his quality in full view. Not only the goal, but also his aerial ability, those balls that have been, from a Sekhukhune perspective, pinged from left to right, pinning Grobler against McCarthy and Marco in particular, where he's had a lot of success. I'm sure, William Shongwe, that's something that they would have discussed at length during the halftime.
Sometimes there's not a lot you can do about it or to match the player, but like I said, for me, now you start working on the second ball. Whoever goes with the player will just there to offset him, such that he doesn't get a clean header. But there's got to be enough around him to be able to pick up the second ball. But for Chiefs, even better, something that they need to improve on is the passing lanes. Hasn't quite worked well. They've been failing to get that ball through. That will matter for Silva, who's playing at the top of the formation. That is something that needs to improve drastically.
So perhaps something that we're not too sure about has seen Tokolo withdrawn. He had a fairly steady outing so far, and he's been replaced by Sekhukhune Langa. That is the only alteration that has happened at the half-time break, as Kaizer Chiefs want to get forward down the flank. Letlapa intervening. Forward by Frosler. Helped along by Tetwa. Now back with Sekhukhune United. Hoisted forward by Langa, his first involvement. Interestingly, William, Kaizer Chiefs had gone 10.5 hours without conceding, dating all the way back to last season when Bradley Grobler stuck the ball in the back of the net. The last team that had scored against them was Sekhukhune United. Ellis Ramala's 4th-minute goal in their penultimate Betway Premiership outing of the previous campaign.
So what is very clear is that there was definitely a big improvement for Kaizer Chiefs from when they started the season last and into the way that they finished. Remember, they could never hold on to any lead. They couldn't defend at all. So I think what happened this season was just a build-up from what we saw last season, or towards the end of the season.
The last season they only won 8 games all campaign in the Betway Premiership. They already have half as many wins after 5 games. And they came into this encounter with 13 points. The previous campaign, it wasn't until their 9th game that they managed to hit that particular mark. It's asking a lot of Maghalwa. Retrieved by Munare. Letlapa to Kaizer, back to Letlapa, Munare. That's been made mention of several times, with Chiefs making the strong starts, but the last time they went unbeaten in their opening 5 was the last time that they won the league. That was in 2014-15. And they went through their first 19 games without a loss, which I think was an unbeaten streak that eclipsed something that you managed during your time at Kaizer Chiefs, something similar, 15-16 games or so.
1990. You see the problem with some of these years that I get to mention, then you start thinking, where was Grant? You know, that's the only challenge that I know you've done a lot of work in trying to work out those numbers, which is excellent and very important for you.
Yes, Makhalwa. Still he continues on. He's kicked the ball into the area. It's just about kept alive. McCarthy scrapes it away. Falls here for Gaston Serino. Tetwa. Serino losing out to Ramala. He's had a good game so far.
Talking about Chiefs losing ball position in their own half, it's just one of those moments that hasn't quite worked out for them tonight. Continuously giving ball position away, finding it hard to thread that pass through. That's why, if you talk just about how many times has Silva gotten into the ball, not much, and he finds himself dropping a little bit too deep just to get involved.
There's Makhalwa again, taking on Frosler. Oh, it's a lovely battle between those two, which Frosler this time succeeds in. Now given away by Lilepo for Ramala. Munade takes over. Oh! He's done it again! Bradley Grobler has restored Sekhukhune United's advantage.
Once again, ball given cheaply away in that build-up stage. This build-up stage I've been talking about, that Chiefs have failed to come out of their half successfully. And this one gets picked up, and Sekhukhune, but Grobler, in the way that he picked up with one leg and turned and sliced it home. Probably Peterson unsighted. Chiefs gets a hold of the ball. There. Wrong pass, which was meant for Tetwa. Beauty. That is a beauty of a goal. On the 10. That's why I'm thinking the way Peterson dives, it's somebody that has seen the ball very late.
Well, Bradley Grobler scored his first ever goal against Chiefs all the way back in 2008 for Platinum Stars, and a man who's now in his 19th season of league football in this country.
19.
Unbelievable. Has just continued to score against Kaizer Chiefs over the years. And Grobler's teams he's been a part of, whether he has scored or not, including tonight, have now managed to score against Chiefs the last 15 times they've met them. The last time Grobler featured in a game against Chiefs in which his team did not score, as Tabata gets gloves on that, was back in the 2012-13 season for Ajax. Ndlovu gets it from Lilepo. The cutback is good. Silva sets it for Frosler, and then has a go himself. There's the corner.
Bit of a reaction from Kaizer Chiefs. Nice from Ndlovu, who gets the pass, cuts it back. But look at the green shirts just behind the ball here, which is where I think Sekhukhune have been brilliant in the way that they defended great numbers behind the ball when they don't have it.
Krobler with the defensive work. Marco to Ndlovu. Good tackle from Pule Mori. Gets it from Serino. Mori down under the challenge. Free kick, Chiefs. Yeah, Matsimbi's not convinced.
Yeah. I think there's no argument there. Hot hands.
Another off-season signing that is so far looking to be a very shrewd piece of business by Sekhukhune United. Well, they have deep connections in the first division, having ascended to the top flight in the traditional way through promotion. Just over the top. Well, this is worth a go for Lilepo, and in fact they will get a corner out of the situation.
I guess gets his fingertips to the ball. Better angle? Yes.
Oh, definitely. Tip over the touch, the crossbar. Serino with the out-swinging delivery. Again, it meets the Chiefs' heads. Silva can't direct it on target. Kaizer Chiefs have won 4 of the previous 8 meetings against Sekhukhune. Babinanoko with 2 wins and a couple of draws as well. It's floated in by Frostling, claimed by Tabata. 31-year-olds from Angola in Zambia. Sekhukhune United have failed to beat Chiefs in their last 4 attempts. Not since they did the double over them in the 2022-23 season have they managed to win. Mube scoring in their away fixtures. Through goes Monare. Oh! He's got their 3rd! What a wonderful goal for the birthday boy! As Sekhukhune United race into a 2-goal lead. 36th.
There's a problem in the pressing in that middle, and also the defensive line being found on the front foot. If you can't close the man, the ball carrier, you got to be on the back foot, and that wasn't the case. Easy for Monare to run through the middle, through into the attacking phase with nobody. Now this one, it's a clearance. Initially, what an easy flick. That is the point. Once again from Krobler, nobody challenges him. They failed even when they challenged him. This time, nobody was even closer, and yet you can't still cover. If you're not going to be there with him, then pull back so that you can at least expect a chance from the second ball. Excellent composure all the way.
Now, Kaizer Chiefs fans have forgotten this feeling.
It's been some time.
Bradley Krobler with that assist. That's now in 21 league games against Kaizer Chiefs. 9 goals and 3 assists. Lovely run. It's a really good tackle. Sekhukhune United have managed half a dozen shots in total, 4 on target, 3 goals. They came into this game with the 4th best conversion rate in the league, 11.8% of all their shots finding the back of the net. That would have improved drastically. Another strong run by Ndlovu, but showing too much of the ball to the defense of Sekhukhune.
Another attack that doesn't go too far. They've got to be better, these Chiefs. But the worst part is when you give away position when you're on the front foot. It doesn't give you much recovery time to defend.
There's Miguel. Frosler. Oh, now there's a lack of awareness and communication as Ndlovu lets fly from range. Now that little dinked ball by Frosler looked to be a good one. I think it's Silva who gets an unnecessary touch
behind him.
Yeah, he was going to race onto it.
Another flick for Krobler. This time Tetra fails to win it.
Half an hour remains. Kaizer Chiefs trailing by 2 goals at home to Sekhukhune United. 4 previous instances they've hosted them. They've won 3 rather, and lost the 1. It's a decent ball in. Frosler now. Corner. In comes the corner, and it will be a goal kick now. Here's Tetra. Munare goes down clutching his head, and the ball will be played out so that he can receive some attention, and it now provides the appropriate stoppage for 5 fresh players to come on. 3 for Chiefs, 2 for Sekhukhune United. And here's a man smiling despite the current scoreline. Walter Moretzi is our Spolisen win victor today. He is also a Betway account holder, so he is departing the Calabash with a cool 20k. Let's confirm the subs for you. Spongizen Mtetwa, Gaston Sereno, Flavio Silva making way for Tabukrele, Dushabalala and Wandile Duba all coming on.
Key is Tabukrele in that middle of the park for me. That's where Chiefs fed themselves in a big way. No successful passes going forward. How is one of those that had to give the ball away? But whether the players around him will come into the party in support is another question. But he certainly, for me, is the man that can help stabilize things in the middle.
And then we've already caught a glimpse of 2 players that have been prepared here for Sekhukhune United. Sean Mokhela, who's going to be making his 3rd sub appearance of the season, and a man recruited from TS Galaxy, Spio Mahlangu, earning his first minutes in a Sekhukhune shirt.
So Mokhela goes onto the right. We know his speed. Mahlangu goes to the left where he plays as an inverted. So more attacking options for Sekhukhune.
Now Mahlangu won't be able to add to his assist tally. The man who has 4 this season. He got a hat-trick of assists in their 3-0 win over Orbit College. And Mokhela has plenty of pace to burn, which might be useful as Chiefs in the remaining 25 minutes or so look to try and re-establish themselves in this game. Munare's goal has helped him into a fairly comfortable position. Flick by Krobler.
He's winning all the flicks. He's winning all the headers. But the very thing that Chiefs can't do, the defenders, to say if Krobler is going for a flick, yes, one defender must go with him, but the others must cover all the possible direction that the ball might end up. And the more likely positions, he's going to flick backwards in helping somebody coming deep from the middle. And they just need to mark that man. Whoever runs out from deep in the middle must be marked.
Ellis Ramala to take. Chiefs looking to clear their lines. Dushabalala under pressure from Mokhela. Header away, finds Modi. He slid it through here for Lilepo. Brilliantly cut out. Well, the defence of Sekhukhune United, with Brighton Glovu in the heart of it in particular, doing really well.
Lilepo a bit more central now. Willing to Doozy maybe coming in as a 10. And Duba right. at the top alongside Lelepo.
Space for Frosler. Clappers quickly out to meet him though. McCarthy for Miguel. Hele. Frosler. Swings it across. Duba straining for that one. Gets contact, but well wide of the mark.
Quality of the ball getting to the box must be way better. Duba's not the tallest. I know he jumps very well, but sometimes if it's that too high, it's asking too much from him. It's just a simply lack of quality of the balls placed into the box when they do get wide.
Chases Mahlangu. Made by McCarthy. Glove to Miguel. Kaizer Chiefs need 2 goals to rescue a point here. If they can avoid defeats, it'll be the first time that they go more than 7 games, that's of course stretching back to last season, without a loss for the first time since the 2019-20 season, when they came very close to claiming the title. And funnily enough, that last longest unbeaten streak, the last time that they had an unbeaten streak longer than this, William, it was put to an end by SuperSport United. That was during the 2019-20 season. It was in January 2020, and I think you know what I'm going to say. Who scored in that game? Bradley Krobler. Cardoso was actually on the bench for Sekhukhune United this evening, equalised on that particular day for Chiefs. Global's been able to work it out to Lelepo, and then it's lifted in. Oh. Well, Pule Mori, I'm not sure if his intention was to go for goal, but it forced a save out of Tabata. They've taken it quickly. Hele for Shabalala. Hele again. Measures his ball in. Nodded down by Lelepo. Referee not interested in the appeals, despite the fact that Michael was upended.
Yeah, I caught him.
Yeah. Did look as though Modi was seeking only to cushion that towards the back post where Dubo was attacking that back pole.
Great goalkeeping. The decision of course, to just be able to just get that finger onto the ball to tip it over. It's quality from Sabata.
Kaizer Chiefs have now taken 9 shots, just 4 on target though. In their previous match before the international break, they had 19 shots against Le Mans for Golden Arrows. They hit the target 7 times in in that particular game. It's the most they've managed in a single match this season. Last campaign, they only managed to hit the target 7 or more times in a game on 5 occasions. Nasruddin Nabi has prepared another 2 changes that we will learn of shortly. Tinkler making a couple of alterations of his own. So off come Ndlovu and Mori. And the man who was used as a sub more than anyone else last season, Mfundo Vilakazi, is introduced once again. It's his 4th sub appearance of this campaign. Matlo appearing for just the 2nd time this season. It's all 5 changes made now. Buba slightly off balance. Shabalala can't work the space to shoot. Matlo. Vilakazi might. He lays it off to his fellow sub. It's on the left foot of Vilakazi, who jinks past one.
One touch too many. Look, defensively, I think Sekhukhune have been brilliant. For me, in the way that they are closing down those passing lanes for Chiefs, they're making it so hard for Chiefs to even try to thread the ball through. That has been their biggest achievement. Eric Tinkler, before the game, he talks about the things that they've improved. It's in the way that they shape themselves out in the middle. And it's just the work ethics is something else that has already added into what he thinks is working for them. You can see it clearly. They really are working for one another. Tactically, technically, decision-making.
There's Lilepo. Well positioned, Sabata really has to move to make that stop.
Well, be careful if you have to hit people hard. Sometimes you get hit hardest.
So there's confirmed changes here with a former Kaizer Chiefs man. He spent 7 seasons at Amokosi. Godoso is on. He's approaching 300 top flight appearances in South Africa. Sihlali is the man who replaces Bradley Grobler. He departs with just under a quarter hour to go. There's Grobler, having put in an unbelievable shift today. 2 goals and an assist. Dushabalala, fresh from having linked up with the national team, got a taste of what it's like to be part of the Bafana squad. Here he is again with a little back heel for Lilepo, challenged by Sean Mokhela. Sihlali, who's on for just the 2nd time this season, latched onto that one. Now Mokhela. Chiefs have suffered just one loss in their last 13 visits from Limpopo sides, and that was against Sekhukhune United, 1-0 defeat in January of 2023. And over that period, they've won 7 and drawn 5, so usually they cope pretty well with visits from sides from up north. Turf getting a little torn up on the north end here at the FNB Stadium.
That is normally the side that is very wet. I'm a little bit surprised that it's this sandy, because it hardly gets the sun.
It does see a lot less sun, yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, what a challenge. That was earlier from Mokhela. Shabalala. Shabalala does get the ball in for Frosler. Vilakazi. Funo Vilakazi sees a sight of goal. He's very left-footed.
Once again, a sea of green in front of the black and gold.
Shabalala. Pele. Men in the box. Here's Lilepo. Stolen from him at the expense of a corner. Kaizer. And with the armband today, keeps the armband, with Godosa having started on the bench to captain the team against Durban City as well. Pele pulls the trigger. Oh, denied at the near post by Sabata.
It's a great save. Listen, this gets hits from some distance, but the players in front of him, I'm not sure just how much he saw of it. His reaction was excellent.
Dushabalala puts it in. Sabata's behind Lilepo's header.
Oh, he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, that's his 7th save this evening.
That's what I'm talking about, that stretch. Because if play strikes a ball from here, the chance that I can go wide. So he's caught between covering the near and the far post. He stretches very well to cover his near.
Remaining. Vilakazi drills the ball forward, looking for Dushabalala. It's nodded down by Mahlangu for Mokhela.
Oh, there's a slight change, a breath of fresh air into the attack of Kaizer. For the first time, they've sustained the pressure on Sekhukhune. Yes, I guess the influence of these new players that were brought in has made a very big difference. They're not afraid to take players on, and also the combinations are much better. They're not as obvious as they were earlier.
It's another one.
It's now becoming a shooting practice.
Kaizer Chiefs management, after such a strong start to the season, anything could still happen here with 8 regulation minutes remaining, but to ship 3 goals, having kept 5 clean sheets. In fact, this is the first time in what is the 9th meeting between these two sides that either of them has been able to score more than 2 goals.
Same problem that we saw throughout the game. Well, what you might not have noticed, sitting next to Kaizer Jr. on the far left in that stands is Mr. Sekhukhune, one of the board members or shareholders in this Kaizer side.
It's a rather unfortunate slip, but able to find a pass for Shabalala. Ilepo coming in fields, then very inaccurate in looking for Vilakazi.
I guess with only about 6 minutes and a little bit more remaining, it makes sense for the green shirts just piling up defensively for Sekhukhune.
Well, the job is effectively done at the other end. The Kaizer Chiefs on a couple of occasions have scored 2 against Sekhukhune, but Sekhukhune had never managed to score more than 1 against Chiefs. Another interesting statistic coming out of tonight is that we saw the 13th, 14th and 15th different scorer in this tie this evening. Out for a Chiefs throw-in. Frosler can hold him long if he chooses to. Frosler's low ball and away by Munare. His goal is the one that has given him this cushion. 6 games into the season, we'll get back to that as Kaizer Chiefs try and make something happen on the edge of the area. Shabalala, and it's out for a goal kick. I was mentioning Tabang Munare, 6 games into the season, he has his 2nd goal. It's only the 2nd time in his career that he's scored more than 1 league goal in a single campaign. The last time he did it was back in 2016-17 for Wits. Those goals also came not in successive games, but for him, successive games that he played. Having scored against Durban City last time out, back-to-back goals, somewhat of a rarity for Munari, and yeah, to get more than 1 in a season as well. Wow.
I like what I see from Shabalala. He came in and you can see he's hungry, he's like pushing forward, he's taking players on. Defensively, Sekhukhune is very tight, so combinations aren't going to always work. But what he does here is when you take and minus 1 player, it just opens up going forward. This is what he's doing since he came in.
Ellis Ramala is the latest player into the book. Only the 2nd player this evening, along with Inacio Miguel, to actually receive a yellow card. Frosler fouled.
Looks like it's a bad injury for a Klapper. And it's one of those pulls that you get just behind your knee.
Such a key member of the team, one of those who've started all 6 league games this season. When they can't replace him, because they have already made all 5 changes. Pinged forward by Taylor. And Tabata's been in the wars today.
And what are we going to see here? It's Miguel who's on a yellow. If it is picked up that he used his elbow, then
well, to start this season, it seems like he's cleaned up his act somewhat. If you remember how often he was suspended in the previous campaign, an accumulation of yellows and red cards indeed.
Kaizer is basically saying, listen, no worries, this game is about to end, so you don't need to come out with games here.
Eric Tinkler taking his team back to the top of the table. A man who's looking to extend his unbeaten league run as a coach against Kaizer Chiefs to 10 on the spin. There is Miguel. Lelepo on the left-hand flank. Gets it again from Taylor. About to enter into 5 additional minutes. To Shabalala. Matlo. Here's Refrosler.
Too much recycling.
Vilakazi. They need to make something happen now. Lelepo. The flag is up.
There might have been a hint of a penalty call, but because he was offside already, that's not going to be considered. Now, yes.
Refrosler looks long for Duba. Anywhere will do for Letlapa. Job almost done. Thanks to a brace from Bradley Grobler and another from Tabang Munare. The 2 veterans, 37 and 36 respectively, have undone Chiefs at Soccer City. Bradley Grobler actually hadn't scored against Chiefs in his last 4 matches versus them, having actually netted in 4 successive games prior to that. The last goal that he got against Chiefs prior to this evening was in a 1-1 draw in the 2020-2021 season. Although he did provide an assist 2 seasons back whilst at Supersport United for Terence Tukamanja's winner against Chiefs at the Peter Makaba Stadium. Nice take from Mdu Shabalala. And a free kick for Chiefs. Well, none of the usual suspects in terms of competent direct free kick takers are on the field. Gaston Serino has already been hooked off, and Kusipile Ngobo's Also, of
start.
course, a brilliant, brilliant option, having scored from a free kick in their opener against Stellenbosch. He's not part of the squad today.
Tell you, the coach might need to consider maybe bringing him to a little bit early, because I think he transformed to this game.
Yeah.
He really put in his everything to see if Chiefs can come back.
So the right foot of Lilebo, the left of Vilakazi, are two potential takers. Vilakazi is a very, very good set-piece taker, it must be said.
But the angle is for Lilebo.
And it has to be now if they have any chance of salvaging a point. This has to go in.
But if Vilakazi does get it around the wall, maybe, just maybe.
Vilakazi. And it's over the target.
Idea was there, but he needs just too much technique to get it around the wall and help the ball to spin back towards goal. Also, the height was an issue. I like, obviously, we're talking man of the match possibilities. I like the goalkeeper. I thought he's contributed quite a great deal as well. He really made himself. Remember, this is his first game, by the way.
Here's Lilebo.
Very impressed. I wasn't too sure exactly how he's going to come from having not played in the first 5 games of the season. But performance today was brilliant.
Shabalala combining with Duba. Lele picks a pass in the box, having attempted already 2 shots from distance. Refrosler hangs it up, but that's a good win in the air from Brighton Glovu. There's another that stood out this evening amongst many in green who have really produced solid performances out there.
Got to do a bit on that.
And that sums it up for Kaizer Chiefs, the final moments of the game. A game that has seen Sekhukhune United emerge as 3-1 victors, and they head back to the top of the table. They leap above champions Mamelodi Sundowns. They are the first team to inflict defeat upon Kaizer Chiefs this season, and they themselves remain unbeaten in the Betway Premiership as Eric Tinkler's remarkable record against Amakosi continues.
Brilliant display of football. Discipline more than anything, obviously occasionally.